welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do my pan palette update. So I'm going to start actually with my pan palette in order. So the premise of this is you want to hit pan in all the shades, but you want to do it in a specific order. I'm working on the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. So last month, this is what the palette looked like. Obviously, I'm working on that shade right in the corner there called Cosmic. It is a pretty pink, shimmery, lovely icy color, and I do actually have it on my inner corner today, but I have not hit pan in it yet. So this is what the palette is looking like, and obviously you can see I have been going into it a little bit more. I went into it 5 extra times this month, but we still do not have a pan. I've really tried to use it as many times as I remember, but there definitely are a lot of days where I could have gone into this and I completely forgot to. So it's definitely a project that I'm not putting a huge amount of effort in, but at least I'm going into a palette that I personally love and I've had in my collection for quite a while now. And I do think that I will hit pan pretty shortly. I think maybe 1 more month and I'll have a pan, and then I think I'm going to go into Utopia because I'm really wanting to go into more spring-like shades, and I feel like Utopia is calling me. So that one I'm really excited and intrigued to start working on, but we got to get through this one first. Next up, my pan palette for the year is the Flower Moon, and this is what the palette looked like last month. I did end up hitting pan in a sapling, which was quite nice. The first update I have a pan. That is always exciting to say the least. But this month, what I've been doing is I've been concentrating on a few different shades. There's been some shades where I've been really enjoying going into. Definitely have quite a few shades that I'm still not going into or I have barely gone into. But regardless of that, this is what the palette is looking like now. Now, I don't have any new pans to share this month, though I did think I was going to have one. It did not happen, but I have been really enjoying going into this palette when I have, and it's just not a palette that I feel like I can go into every single day. So when I do go into it, I really, really enjoy it. So we'll start with my uses. I went into Bloom once. I went into Flower Moon 3 times. This one I really do enjoy. I also went into Freesia 2 times. This Flower Moon I went into this is Pink Moon and this is Flower Moon. So Pink Moon I went into 3 times, Freesia I went into 2 times, Flower Moon went into 3 times, and then we have this one here I went into once, and then Dahlia is the one that I thought I would hit pan, and I'm very, very close. I went into it 5 extra times this month, but I still have yet to see a pan in that one. Then we have April Showers. I went into that 2 times. Did not go into Refresh. Did not go into Primrose. Went into Bliss 2 times since last month. Did not go into this one. I went into Awakening once. Did not end up going into Sapling after I hit pan last month. I did go into Sprout just once as well. And then the last row, Lush, I went into 2 times. I went into Rejuvenate 2 times. Did not go into Mayflowers. Then we have, this is Peony. I went into that once. Didn't go into Mayflowers. Then we have Meadow. I went into that twice. Did not go into Buddy. And Renew, I went into it 3 times. So those are the uses, and that's what the palette is looking like. I'm pleased with how it's looking, but it certainly doesn't look too different from last time. I think overall it's a palette, like I said, I've been enjoying to go into, but because it's not a very neutral leaning palette, if I don't want to go into color, I have struggled going into this, and so I just allow myself to go into different palettes when I want to, and then when I do want a pop of a beautiful shimmer on my lids, this one has been really nice to go into. So I think for the most part, I've been enjoying it. I'm not sick of it. I haven't put all of my focus on it like I have with my other pan palettes, because for those, especially for the first part of the year, I was really focused on them. I feel like this one, I'm a little bit more relaxed. Also, it's more of a spring palette for me, so I think now I'll probably spend a little bit more time on it versus January and February time. I think just working on this palette is a little bit harder for me. In terms of the next pans that I am going to focus on, definitely Dahlia. Like I said, I'm very, very close to hitting pan, and I'm actually surprised that I have yet to hit pan in it, just considering how it's looking, and I know how deep they are, so it looks pretty much the same as Sapling. So I think probably one more use and I would have a pan. In terms of any other shades, maybe Pink Moon and Flower Moon, probably Pink Moon actually before Flower Moon. It just seems to be more of a squishy shade. I actually have it on my eyes today. What I have today is Rejuvenate in the crease. I also put Lush on in the first part of the crease. Then we put on Pink Moon on the lid, and then a little bit of this one called Bloom on the lid as well. And then Renew just to deepen out the outer V. And that's as simple as I kept it. And then obviously I've got the Mercury Retrograde shade in my inner corner. I think you'll notice I have not been going into the greens very much. I think I just have quite a lot of greens in other projects. So once those are not in other projects anymore, I'll probably focus on the greens in this palette, but I've been really enjoying going into everything else. And the green that I did end up going into a couple times is Bliss. It's just really, really pretty. Not that the other shades are not. I mean, honestly, all the shades in here are really pretty. I have noticed that there's certain shades, though, that I feel like they don't need to be in this palette, so they're a little bit redundant, like Sprout and Freesia. I feel like I use them for the same purpose. And then we have Forsythia and Primrose. I think those two are also pretty similar, and I would use them for the same purpose. So there's definitely some shades that I feel like could have been swapped out for other ones, but alas, it is fine. It is what we have. So anyway, that is my Pan Lab palette update for this month. Not a huge amount to show for it, but I feel like the palette is looking a little bit more loved every single month. And I do think next month I will have a pan, so I'm excited for that. Anyway, that's everything from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you next time. Bye!